Okay, so I have these little bit of scraps left. And so I'm pulling in a white cardstock for my back, and this often happens a lot with the Kiwi clubs. I just have scraps, and I think it's always best just to use them when you have them out. So I have this random one picture. So again, mixing it up. I think we always have leftover pictures. Personally, I do. So it's helpful to do it. So for example, like see this scrap of paper, you're kind of patchworking your page together. So I just threw in some pieces of paper, you know, cut a little border out. I did rip this right here to give it a little bit of texture. And you know, I think it's worth noting because the other side of this is the adorable flower pattern. And sometimes we debate if we should, you know, use the other side. But as you can see, this blue really helps pop my picture. So utilize what you have to the best of its ability and try to, you know, sometimes we put our best to the side, but really sometimes what we have is the best for what we need it to be and to put it to use. So let me kind of throw this back together here. So it's very patchworky. I even had this scrap, but as you can see, it was purely a scrap of paper. Utilizing these little pieces of scraps. So I traced Tiny Charms 6 out of here. I feel like I'm gonna just patchwork it together. And so a lot of times with these, because you're working with scraps, I do one piece at a time. So instead of framing the whole page and visualizing it, because you are very limited on your scraps, sometimes you have to do piece by piece. Actually, I was thinking about doing it like here. I was thinking, Madison, you and me go together. Like that song, so stuck in my head. So that's kind of what I was thinking, maybe putting that go together. I want some journaling here. I'm thinking maybe a little bit of a pop of color, just again, textural point. You can keep it clean. Again, taking advantage of every little piece of scrap. So on these title cards, remember that they are double-sided for the use to utilize those patterns the best that you can. Sometimes, again, you're like, oh, I don't want to not use this. Maybe I'll use it in future. If you have a use for it now, don't wait till the future. Utilize it now. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. And then even this little piece of scrap of paper you could take advantage of and get a little bit of a design out of it. So for example, if I want to trace and cut this out. So until you're completely done using your kit, don't throw anything away. So I always get down to these very last pieces of scraps of paper. Actually, I'm making this pile right here because I'm going to make a card. So I'm saying, oh, I'm going to save those pieces for a card. So really all I have left at my disposal are these couple leftover pieces. So we'll see what this ends up being like.